Boom. Record starting now, I believe. What's up? All right, guys. Excited for this little presentation I got for y'all. We're going to be going over, obviously, what it says on the screen, how to create a fight camp for your life. A lot of people know how to do that for training, right? You understand the concept of being able to allocate certain resources to your training regimen, making sure that you're showing up on time, making sure that you're consistent, making sure that you're putting in the work. But a lot of fighters I've noticed is that the discipline from training with a fight or training for a fight doesn't necessarily translate to the discipline in everyday life. And so I really want to highlight the concept of how to implement the fight type of the mindset of training for a fight and how you're able to implement that in life. And so we're going to dive right into it. I see some people hopping on. What's going on, everyone? If you get a chance, let me know where you're calling from, right? Or where you're viewing from. So in the chat, just shoot me where you're at. I know, Dave, you're down in Texas, right? Andy, you're all the way over in Australia. I feel like it's super late by you, Andy. So good on you for fucking showing up. And yeah, so what we'll go through, this will be about a 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how things go. And at the end, I'll do a Q&A if you have any questions about the things that I cover. And then we'll kind of take it from there. But hopefully people start dropping in. We're live right now on Facebook. We're live now on YouTube. I see a couple of comments on Facebook and YouTube right now. So thank you all for joining. What's up, Renee? What's up from Mexico? All right. Where you got Australia? We got Richard Rice, a now pro MMA fighter. Richard Rubber Band Man Rice from Reno. That's quite the name, man. That's quite the nickname. I love it. So yeah, let's wherever you're tuning in from, you're in the fucking right place because you're my people. I want this to be interactive. So as we go along, your feedback and everything will be greatly appreciated, and making sure that if you want to get the most out of this, like, be a part of it. You know, don't just view in the background. Don't just kind of watch this in the background noise, right? Like some of the TV shows that you can put on while you're doing other important things. No, this is the important thing right now. So make sure that you're locked in, because a lot of things I'll be sharing with you today. By the way, the camera's right here. My computer's here, so forgive me about that. But a lot of stuff I'm going to be going over today is how I've been able to implement a lot of the same tactics and strategies that I've been able to train leading up to a fight, and how I've been able to kind of run that parallel to my life as a entrepreneur, as a husband, as a father, and so on. So the more you throw in the chat, the better this shit gets. So make sure you let me know what's up. So we'll give it like one more minute or two. But like I said, let me know where you're. Renee from Denmark, amazing. I know some people from Thailand, from the States, Europe. Just throw your city in there. And also a quick warm-up question. This goes, especially with like the school year starting and everything. A lot of people can start strong, whether it's a new season, a new semester, a new training camp, but then kind of fall off for a week or two. Because be honest, if that's you, it's all good, because it happens to the best of us. And we're going to hopefully figure out ways to make sure we are able to always get back up and keep moving forward. So I promise you this: if you stick with me tonight, you're going to walk away with a really clear plan on how to stop drifting, start structuring your life like a real fight camp. And this is a little bit of theory, but a lot of this is exactly what I use as a fighter, as an entrepreneur, now as a dad of two. So looks like we've got a solid crew right here. We've got 26 people on Facebook and Instagram. We've got about 10 people here in my Nakamura Nation community. What's up, Nakamura Nation? Thank you guys for joining. And so tonight I'm going to show you how to map out your life like fight camp, so you can actually win at the goals that you set for yourself. So we're going to be going over why most people drift, what drifting even is, the fight camp method, which is a 3-step method that I kind of came up with that allows you to kind of translate the fight camp analogy to life, why structure is the most important thing that you can do for yourself when it comes to actually accomplishing goals and growing as a human, and how motivation is completely fucking overrated, and how to turn this into a system inside Champion of Life, which is my mentorship program, which I'll discuss a little bit more later on as well. But by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to plan your week. So this way you can stop drifting, stop going through the motions, stop fucking winging it. And you'll see how the Champion of Life method, this Champion of Life coaching, is like a full fight camp experience for your life. So let's fucking go. So for those of you who don't know me, just a quick little background. I'm Sean Fagan, also known as the Muay Thai guy. I've been doing this for quite a while, over 15 years. A retired pro Muay Thai fighter, won a couple titles as an amateur, trained, lived, and competed in Thailand for a little over 4 years, and also made my yearly hiatus to there before we actually moved there. Now we're back in the US. I've also built Knock Boy Nation, which is the community that a lot of people are joining us inside right now, for all the members there, and appreciate your love and support. But I've also been able to teach seminars all around the world, run a handful of brands, including Muay Thai Vacations, which is one of my favorite things to do. Dave Shade, who's here, he's been to a couple of our Costa Rica retreats, so always appreciate that. And yeah, it's been so cool seeing, like in this picture right here, you see there's one, two, three other people wearing Knock Boy Nation stuff, and it's just so fucking crazy whenever I travel around and I see people wearing my gear and my brand. So that's always a little, I have to pinch myself to know that it's even going on. But now a lot of things have shifted. Most importantly, I'm adapting to, and structure is no longer optional. It's fucking survival. Especially we have a 3-year-old. That's Theo here in the middle with his little doggy and his kitty. My beautiful wife Liz, and this is our new baby boy Reese. He's about 3 months old right now. So it's been quite an adjustment, going from one kid to two. Well, going from 0 to 1 and then 1 to 2, but with the structure I've been able to create and the systems I've been able to create, I've been able to figure out a way to kind of stay on top of most things, while making sure that I'm still filling my plate up and fill my cup up, rather, to make sure I'm aligned with who I want to be and how I want to show up. So I've lived fight camp. I fought 35 times. I've also done it as an entrepreneur. I've been in plenty of fight camps as an entrepreneur, trust me, and they're almost more stressful when it comes down to it than being a fighter. And I've also ran a fight camp as a dad a handful of times. I'm sure you guys can relate if you're a father or a mother, or a parent, or anything. And every single time I've gone through this fight camp for whatever area of my life, structure was the difference between winning and just kind of drifting into oblivion. Now, what is drifting? Now, most people drift when they have no plan. They go week to week, kind of going through the motions, just kind of hoping that things kind of fall into place. Well, sorry to say, that shit doesn't fucking work. All right. Now, one of my favorite books, which I actually have back here, let me get it. Outwitting the Devil. Highly recommend this book by Napoleon Hill. You probably know him. He's wrote a bunch of self-help books. The main one is it's about getting rich. I forgot what it is exactly, but that's not the best one. I think this one is the best one because it's relative to all aspects of life. But essentially, The Secret was one. There's a bunch of books, but essentially, this book, Outwitting the Devil, is about the author, Napoleon Hill. You don't know whether he's like hallucinating or whether he feels like he's actually doing it, or if it's just the story, but he's talking to the devil through this book. He's interviewing the devil through this book, and interviewing him how he's able to control so many people in day-to-day life. And the people that the devil control are called drifters, right? Because they don't take control of their life at all. So a drifter, as stated here, this is a quote from Outwitting the Devil. A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind. And if impulse drives your life, you will go nowhere. You will be in the devil's trap, exactly where he wants you to be as a drifter. So that doesn't sound pleasant, right? To be in the grasp of the devil. And it might not even seem like you're actually in that position, because a lot of times drifters are typically numbing. They're typically ignoring a lot of the things that they know they need to be doing. And they're just kind of using a blind eye to ignore the things that are going to actually move the ball forward. Now, The non-drifter takes what he wants from life, but he takes it according to his own rules. This is super important because the drifter takes everything he can get, but he does it according to the devil's rules. This is the devil talking right here, right? So essentially, if you want to be able to live life on your own terms, accomplish your goals, feel aligned with who you are, you need to create your own rules and follow them with how to actually approach life in the purposeful way that you want to. Whereas a drifter, he follows the devil's rules. He numbs, he uses his vices, he ignores responsibilities. All right. That's not us. Anyone who's watching this right now, that's not fucking you. So make sure that you align with that as well. Right now, what I'm going to show you is how to map your life like a fight camp. So you stop drifting and start fucking dominating every aspect of your life. And the idea is to dominate every aspect of your life. But even if you're at 90% or 80% in the bird's eye view of being every single role in your life, that's fucking crushing it compared to most people nowadays. Most people, like I said, are just kind of having blinders on, right? And not paying attention to any of their weaknesses, any of their flaws. And they're not being objective enough to actually make the type of change that they need in order to get to the goals or the level that they want to get. The biggest mistake when it comes to all of this, I should probably make this fucking bigger on my, there we go. The biggest mistake when it comes to all of this is the all or nothing mindset. Because people treat it, if they miss one session or slip up, it's over. They fucked, right? That mindset leads to inconsistency and just quitting. That's like one of the analogies I like to use is if you get a flat tire, you're not going to just slash all your tires and be like, oh, fuck this, right? No, that's the same idea as if you missed a workout, right? You're not going to just be like, all right, I give up. I'm not going to do the rest of my workouts this week. And that's essentially what I'm going to be talking about right here. This is how this shows up. This is how the all or nothing mindset is limiting you, if that's something that you feel like you've been dealing with. This is how the missed workout spiral happens. Someone plans to train 5 times this week, but they miss Monday, right? And they tell themselves, the week is fucking ruined. I didn't make it to my Monday workout, so I'm going to skip the rest of the week and start next Monday, right? And instead of adjusting and still getting 2, 3, 4, even 1 extra workout, they just quit and they just wait until next week. They procrastinate, right? Who's guilty of this, right? I know it's hard to admit some of these things, but I mean, it's happened to me too, all right? I'm not going to lie. Then the nutrition slip. This is also something that's super common, especially with fighters when they're doing a weight cut and everything, right? They're eating clean all week. And then it's Friday night, they have 1 pizza, maybe a beer or 2. And then boom, fucking gone, right? The discipline is gone. They were like, you know what? I already messed up now, so I might as well just binge the rest of the weekend. I already blew it, right? So let me just eat everything that I possibly can, right? Monday morning comes and you're feeling fucking guilty as hell, right? Then the busy professional. You plan to do 30 minutes of focused work or journaling daily, do some of the mental work, the deep work that's actually going to take you to the next level mentally. They missed that 1 session because maybe of a late meeting, or maybe because they woke up late or whatever it is. And then they already think, well, I failed already, so what's the point, right? They ditched the habit entirely. They put it in the back burner. Maybe they revisit it again in the future, but they never are able to stay consistent with it. Instead of seeing progress and consistency, just doing it 5 or 7 days, even like I said, 2 or 3 days, they just chase perfection and fail. Perfectionism is the devil. You do not want to be a perfectionist because then you will not make mistakes and then you'll not be able to learn from those mistakes. And that's kind of the key, right? You need to be able to objectively learn from your mistakes if you want to get to that next level. So here's some quick consequences of drifting, all right? In training and health, you're skipping sessions, your strength, cardio, and skills start to plateau or even diminish. You get more of a soft body. You lose your conditioning. It's harder to get back on track. Small injuries start to pile up because there's no consistency in recovery or mobility. And you look like someone who used to train. And you all know those types of people, right? The people who used to train. Oh, back in my day, I used to do 2 sessions a day and lift 300 fucking pounds on bench. But now it doesn't look like that, right? Then we got the family and relationship consequences. Kids see you on their phone all the time. Who's guilty of this? All right. I'm guilty of this sometimes too. I'm not going to lie, right? But it's a matter of being aware of it. So this way you can make the adjustments that you see fit. Missing dinners, distracted conversations, spouse feels like they come second, the guilt starts to build up, you start to feel like you're not showing up the way you want to at home, and then resentment sneaks in because you're always too tired, too busy, or too stressed. Same goes with work, same goes with mental and emotional consequences. It's just a matter of being aware of these and also owning these if this is something that you've been struggling with. And that's totally okay. All right. Like I said, be objective. Don't need to judge yourself for it, but you need to be aware for it. Because if you're aware, then you can make the change, right? What's up, Nigel from Western Australia? Thanks for joining in. All right. We got a good crew going here. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far. So how we do this is we bring the same discipline and structure from fight camp into everyday living. And this is called the fight camp method, right? Very, very cliche, but this is how it fucking works. Step one, you set your fight. You're just choosing your target, essentially. Because in camp, well, you're losing focus here. Come back with me, camera. There we go. Got to see that beautiful beard, otherwise what's the point of doing this? In camp, the target is the fight date. As a fighter, Richard, right? Anyone who's ever competed before, you have a fight date, shit changes. Once you sign your name on the dotted line, once you actually move forward with the fact that you have a date lined up for fighting, that completely changes your approach to life, right? The issue is in life, you typically don't have those types of deadlines or dates that you have to make sure that you're working your ass off consistently to. So if you don't have a fight date or action or target in your life, that's when you start to drift. The target must be specific. It must be spelled right. Specific is not spelled right, but you know what I mean? It must be measurable and it must be tied to your identity. This is super important that often goes overlooked. And it also must be with some type of consequence. Because think about it this way, if we're doing this analogy of a fight camp, the consequence of not training for your fight as hard and consistently as you can and being as disciplined as you can is you can get knocked the fuck out. You could break your nose. You could be embarrassed. You are literally losing brain cells by not training your hardest and making sure that you're showing up. There is a direct consequence, very physical consequence for not training for a fight. With life, a lot of the consequences end up being more intangible. They're not things that you necessarily see. You don't get punched in the face, like literally. It's more of a figurative thing. And a lot of it is kind of hard to digest because you're not even sure that it's happening. And so we need to make sure that we have some type of consequence with our targets if we don't make them in order to feel the pain. You need pain. Humans need pain in order to know what is going wrong, what they've done wrong. And so this way we can make adjustments and keep moving forward. Pain is good. All right. But sitting in your pain, sitting in your shit, that is not good, obviously. So there are three main categories that we need to focus on in life. This goes for basically just about anyone, especially if you're watching this right now. Life, work, and training. Training could also be fitness. Let me fix this fucking camera. It's pissing me off. All right. Life, work, and training. You have these three things are pretty common in life. Everyone has this in one form or another, right? Here's some example targets for a couple of different scenarios. If you're a busy dad, right? Some good targets for these three categories is training. You hit 3 times a week, morning workouts, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m., 40 minutes each. If I miss one, I have to do 100 push-ups before bed that night. So that's specific, right? 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m., 40 minutes each. Even better if you can get specific on what the workouts are, obviously. If you miss one, you got to do 100 push-ups before bed. So that's the consequence. And you also have to hold yourself accountable to it, which we'll be going into further as well. For life, family dinner, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, phone in another room in the entire meal. If I pull my phone out, my spouse chooses one chore, I do immediately. My wife would love this shit. If every time I pulled out my phone, I had to do a chore or I had to buy her something, she'd be fucking loaded, man. That's for sure. And so I make sure that I do something like this and she calls me out So this way I'm not on my phone when I'm doing my family time. And then work, no email or scrolling until 9 a.m. Mornings reserved for my number one project. And if I break it, I donate $25 to an anti-charity I don't support. I'll discuss that a little bit more too. This has been a strategy that I've used to accomplish some pretty notable things by betting on myself, literally putting money where my mouth is and making sure I fucking follow through with what my goals are and what I'm trying to do. What's up, Cedric? I was hoping to see you try MMA sparring only once. I used to, before, little side note, I did MMA before I did Muay Thai. I did boxing and then MMA and then I did Muay Thai. But I just really liked punching and kicking people, so I just kind of stuck with that. The grappling and everything, I was into for a little. I tried so fucking hard to like jujitsu. I swear to God, I tried so hard and I just couldn't get into it. For 2 years, I trained jujitsu and I gravitated towards Muay Thai. I took the Muay Thai guy moniker. There's no going back. I can't be the jiu-jitsu guy now. It just doesn't work like that. But I appreciate that. Then some examples for a professional. I tend to beat myself up after a loss if I didn't train right. That's a good point, Richard, because that's the idea, right? You want to kind of beat yourself up if you didn't train right, if you didn't put in the right type of work. And that will allow you to make the type of adjustments and learn from them if you're willing to accept them. You have to be aware enough of them. So some example targets as a professional, right? Someone who's like a CEO, entrepreneur, businessman, or just someone who takes their work very seriously. 2 runs, Tuesday, Thursday, minimum 3 miles each, 2 strength sessions, track pace and weight lifted weekly. And if I skip, I owe $20 into my team accountability pot. It's great if you have teams or people who are doing it. Again, I'll be going into accountability soon as well. Life, daily 10-minute meditation, lunch break, no phone. If I miss it, I do 50 burpees after dinner. Work, right? Top 3 priorities each morning before opening Slack email. If I don't finish them by the end of the day, no Netflix TV that night. Now, all these are obviously solid, but if you don't follow through with your consequences and you let yourself off the hook, then you're, again, going back to that drifting state. You're in the devil's grasp, if you will. Then the fighter, all right? Here are some example targets. Because one thing about a fighter, drop a comment if drop like an emoji, like a boxing glove, if you've ever fought or trained for a fight camp. Seriously, if you've ever gone 8 to 12 weeks, fucking head in the ground, grinding, training for a fight. Now, if you've ever done that, you know that there's a different level to it when you have a fight lined up. When you don't have a fight lined up, training is a little bit more lax most of the time, right? And so this goes for fighters who don't have a fight lined up. If you don't have anything, any kind of competition, any kind of date set, it's really easy to kind of lose sight of what you're trying to do and lose sight of what you're focusing on. And so what we have to do as a fighter is make sure no matter what, we're having these targets, because without these targets, we're just floating in space. We're drifting, all right? So for example, training. Master the TEEP in 8 weeks, 3 TEEP-focused bag and shadow boxing sessions per week. It could be defense, it could be boxing, any type of focus. 200 reps for each session. Record 1 video each week for feedback. Send it to a training partner or coach. And if I skip it, I have to do a 3-mile run the next morning. Life, no alcohol Monday through Thursday. Friday and Saturday, max 2 drinks. If I break it, I do 100 bodyweight squats and 100 push-ups the next day. Work, 1 weekly Sunday planning session, reviewing my last week and mapping out the next. If I miss it, I start Monday with a 30-minute journaling session before I do anything else. So these are some kind of ideas or examples, depending on your situation, whether you're a busy parent, whether you're a busy professional, or you're a busy fighter. No matter what, we all share the 3 common categories, right? Life, training, and work. And making sure that we have specific targets for each one of them that are tied to our identity and also have a consequence is super, super important for actually following through with this. Now, what would be one fight you set for yourself, one fight target you set for yourself in each category? Life, work, and training. Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading them. And I'll also share with you mine right now while I have you here, right? So for life, what I've been focusing on more as my main target is my mindfulness practice, especially having 2 little little kids right now, my mind can get a little scattered with the craziness that the house can kind of erupt into. And so I make sure that every morning I'm waking up before the kids. I'm waking up anywhere between 5 and 6, depending on the day, and doing 10-minute meditation followed by 10-minute mobility every single fucking day. Because if I don't do that, it is noticeable how reactive I am for the rest of the day. Because otherwise, I'm just reacting on what's happening to me and not responding. And so I make sure that my anchor every single day is my meditation and movement practice, specifically mobility in the morning, especially I'm getting older. I'm almost 38 now. So I have to make sure I'm taking care of my body, right? What we got for you, Richard? Your hooks, boom, boom, for life, not beating myself up mentally. Yeah, that's a tough one, because as a fighter, it's easy to be self-critical, and you should be self-critical. You should be someone who is always looking to better yourself, but there's a balance, right? You need to be critical while also still encouraging yourself and hyping yourself up. You need to find that right balance, which is a difficult thing, and it just takes time and awareness. For work, not letting it get me down when I don't get recognized for my effort. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is out of control, right? You have to do the things that are within your control. And that is showing your effort, that is putting in your work, that is doing a little extra. If it doesn't go noticed, that's not on you. But you know that you're showing up, you're doing the best that you can. And so it's just a matter of perseverance, my man. And you know about that as a fighter. Who else? Anyone else? We just got Richard hooking up with me. We got all these people on the call, and you bitches are just be hiding behind the screens, not saying shit. Let's go. Interact. This stuff is not going to be worth it if you're not actually applying it or at least trying to think about it a little bit. Felipe, what's going on? Not focusing on what I don't have or haven't accomplished. That that is such a common one that I struggle with as well. Um, I can't even tell you, man, because there's one thing that is a human dilemma, is that once I get to this, then I'll be happy. Once I make 10K a month, then I'll be happy. Once I become champion, then I'll be happy. Once I marry this woman, then I'll be happy, right? And then it happens, but then there's still it's good for a little bit, right? Winning a championship is pretty fucking sweet. Making 10K is pretty sweet. Marrying the woman of your dreams is pretty sweet. But then what next? There's always a what next, no matter what goals you accomplish, right? And so knowing that no matter how much you accomplish or how high you go, there will always be something that you feel like is the grass is greener on the other side. And so just being aware of that, I think, is a big step forward, Felipe, because it's really easy to be always trying to want more and more and more. And I'm guilty of that myself, right? But it's also kind of a blessing and a curse, because without that ambition to actually want to do more, then you're going to be drifting even more than the next person, right? El Canic, fight as much as I can, get the feel of being as ready as possible to become pro. I love that. Red 3, setting reasonable goals I know I can meet. That's good too, because setting reasonable goals is important to an extent, especially in the beginning. So you get those small wins. Those small wins add up. They compound over time. And if you set your goals too big, too lofty at first, they can excite you. But then once you get into it and you realize how much fucking work it's going to be and how long that goal can take, it's really easy to kind of get down on yourself, right? And so breaking it down to smaller goals, manageable goals that you can win, that's super key also to moving forward. Good stuff, everyone. Life has got to be a diet, right? Motivating myself to get back to training, even though I'm out of the gym. I feel that. Felipe, training, getting my ass up in the morning, that's one of the toughest things, right? I'll go into a couple tips that I use to make sure I get up in the morning. It helps. It definitely helps. So I'll get into it. Good to see you here, Felipe, by the way. See you always fucking crushing it. What's up, Molly? Life, daily mental health maintenance. Yes, that's super important. George, training, keeping the consistency. Love it. There we go. We're starting to get some feedback now. Appreciate you guys. So step 2 is about structuring your fight camp, your life fight camp, if you will. This is building your weekly plan. In camp, you don't guess. You know when you're training. You know what you're training. Are you doing sparring Thursdays? Are you doing technique and pad work on Mondays? Like, you know what you're doing every single day, right? But when it comes to life, if you're just winging it, you're going to get left behind. If you're just hoping that everything will just kind of fall into place and you don't have intention behind every single thing you do in every single day, then that's when that's when the devil is able to kind of come in and numb you and make sure that you're not being focused, not being intentional in what you do. Now, this is a sample week of what my regular week more or less looks like nowadays. All right. I use iCalendar to help me visually see what each and every day looks like. And I'm also able to kind of break down in categories the things I need to be doing. So, just to give you a quick overview, is like the morning times. That's when I'm waking up, doing my morning ritual with meditation, with mobility, with some fucking coffee, and some water, lemon water. And then I go into a short little work batch, usually just like a 30, 45-minute quick little key work to kind of keep the ball moving forward. Like I said, the small wins help you build the momentum day in and day out. Then I have some family time, make some breakfast, depending on the day. I'll either do some work, have lunch in the middle of the day. My workouts have been more towards the end of the day, and then dinner and everything. So in fight camp, nothing is random. Every day has a purpose. This needs to be the same thing for your regular schedule, right? Mapping your week eliminates decision fatigue. This is so fucking important. And I wish I could find the words to emphasize this, but if you don't, it's the whole quote: fail to plan to fail, right? If you're not actually planning ahead on what you need to be doing and reverse engineering your goals, then you're just gonna drifting. That's like the best word for it. And that's why I love this book so much, because you literally are just drifting into space, not taking any control of your life, not making anything happen with your life. By planning, you at least have a war map. You have an understanding of what you're coming up against and what an ideal scenario looks like in the week. Is it going to look exactly like this? Hell no, right? But this is the goal. If I can do 80% of this, that's a fucking win. And 80% week in and week out, that shit's going to add up. Every once in a while, I'll have a 90%. Maybe I'll have a 100% week. That's very fucking rare. If you have a 100% week, you're not challenging yourself hard enough. By the way, your schedule is not hard enough on you. Usually it's going to be falling short a little bit. If you can get above it, even better. But I like to shoot high and also stay objective with, if I don't get 100% of everything I need to get done, that's not a loss. All right. I'm still making progress. A loss is when I have 0% and I don't do shit. Or when I get 80% and I decide that is a loss. It's a mindset thing. Joseph, I just keep a to-do list. My schedule gets disrupted fairly often. One of the things, my schedule gets disrupted fairly often with my toddler. Fortunately, I planned this, so I made sure he was asleep. But during the day when I'm doing client calls and stuff, or trying to do any type of work, he'll just bust on in here. And so I have this thing that I call an anticipation playbook, where knowing what type of disruptions are most common in my life and how to adjust my schedule or my day based on those disruptions. So this way I have like a plan B and a plan C, depending on if my boy Theo comes in here, ruins my hour workflow, and I have to readjust and figure out the next step. I have a whole playbook for how to adjust according to plan. So just a little side note. Another important thing is your anchors. These are your daily non-negotiables, your workout, meditation, journaling, mobility, family dinner. Typically, it's one main anchor. It's also known as a keystone habit. If you've ever read the book Power of Habit, I think that's where it came from. But it's your keystone habit. It's the one main thing that you can rely on, that you do every single day, that's going to cascade into all other aspects of your life. It's going to help all other aspects of your life. For example, right now for me, it's my morning meditation mobility. Before, it was my training. Sometimes it was my running. My anchor is constantly shifting depending on the season of life I'm in. But no matter what, I know what my anchor is. I know what centers me and helps me stay the most focused throughout the day. Then I also tend to have weekly or daily themes. I like to give each day some type of focus, especially if you're training and you're fighting. I like to make sure Mondays, I'm focusing on my boxing. Tuesdays, I'm focusing on my defense. Wednesdays, I'm focusing on my strength and conditioning, and so on and so forth. I like to make sure that I have clear intention behind everything I'm doing and not just showing up. Although showing up is good, right? That's half the battle. But now showing up with intention, that's going to help you progress so much faster than if you're just showing up and just going through the motions. So here's some examples of anchors, right? As a busy dad myself, this is me right now, well, this is all a little bit of me, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a busy dad, professional and a fighter, so I kind of can relate to all these, but whatever one you can relate to, you can hopefully get some ideas from that can apply to your life. But 6 a.m. workout is my anchor. 5 to 6 a.m. meditation or movement. So I plan 30 to 45-minute sessions, short but consistent. Choose one specific program to follow. Keep it simple, right? The anchors should be pretty simple to achieve, right? Your anchor could be a fucking shower, right? And then a quick journal afterwards, because that's a good reset too, right? For a professional, lunch break meditation, 5 minutes. A 5-minute meditation can change so much of your life. It sounds so crazy, right? But if you're consistent with a 5-minute meditation to reset and realign, and maybe you're saying some type of mantra to stay in control of your thoughts, that's going to add up over time. It's the whole compound effect, right? One of the best analogies for that is, would you rather take $1 million or a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? At first, you're like, fuck, give me that $1 million. But a penny that doubles every day for 30 days, I don't remember how much it is, but it's more than $1 million. But you want to think that. That's the power of the compound effect. So just doing 5 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of mobility, a short workout in the morning, doing that consistently over time is going to make the biggest difference in whatever area of your life you decide to focus on. And as a fighter, a good anchor is daily road work. I used to hate running, and now I fucking love it because it allows me my own time where I'm able to just be with my thoughts, be with my body, feel my heartbeat, feel my body sweat. Plan 3 skill sessions, choose strength sessions and 1 conditioning, choose specific focuses for sparring rounds. That's just a plan to kind of go around your daily anchor as well. Now, what is your anchor? What would be your one anchor, your one daily habit? If you did it consistently, would make everything else in life easier? Let me know. Drop it in the chat. We'll love to hear it. Prayer. That's a good one. Shadow boxing for Richard. Oh, nice, man. He's sharing his fight poster. Hell yeah, let's go. Richard Rice and Nigel getting back on the floor. A year off of 54, flexible as a brick. Slow and steady. That's that 5 minutes a day. Consistency. That's going to play the biggest role. Nate, good to see you. Nasty Nate running. Richard shadowboxing for sure. David, trail rides. I believe that. I've been doing some trail running recently. Been really liking that. Joseph Glazer. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Getting up a little early. Love it, man. Good stuff. Now, step 3 is accountability and adjustments. This is the corner in your life, the corner man in your life, more or less. In camp, you need a team, trainers, partners, coaches, support system around you. In life, you need the same support and the same type of accountability, if not even more. So how do you build your corner in life? There's 3 main ways. One is family and friends. This is probably the most direct way to go about it, is you just ask a spouse, ask a friend, ask a training partner, ask someone you fucking know and trust to hold you accountable to what the fuck ever. For example, you can my wife, I ask her to hold me accountable to making sure I wake up at 5, right? Because she will make me feel guilty if I don't. And I told her to do that. So that's really helped me stay accountable. Join a community, post your workouts in a group chat, there's so many online communities nowadays where you can be a part of a group of people who have the same passion and same motivation as you do. And you are who you surround yourself with. And if you're not surrounded by other fucking beasts getting after it, you're in the wrong crowd. And then lastly is betting on yourself. I use stick.com. So this website's, it's cruel, right? But it's necessary. You can bet on yourself that you'll, for example, hit 3 workouts this week. And if you miss, the money goes to an anti-charity. So you put the money in a pot, right? It's like an escrow. And then you have, ideally, you have a referee too. So you have like an accountability buddy. So this way you prove that you actually follow through with your 3 workouts. But if you don't, you choose a anti-charity. So something you don't believe in, for example, and your money goes to that. So if you're a Republican, it goes to the Democratic Party. If you're a Democrat, it goes to the Republican Party. If you're, I don't know, Taylor Swift fan, it goes to I don't fucking know. But you get the idea, right? It goes to something that you don't want your money to go to. And so that adds some extra oomph behind making sure you show up for yourself, knowing that if you don't, your money is getting donated to something that does not align with who you are. And I found that to be one of the best motivators for me. So another thing that we need to focus on is just weekly accountability. Sunday planning sessions. This is where you review and reset. This is so important. Like I said, most people just go through the motions of the week, wing it, and hope that next week is better. Who actually sits down and reviews what went well this week? What didn't go well? How can I improve? What adjustments do I need to make? Do you make time to actually think about that kind of stuff? Because if you don't, you're missing out on a lot of growth, a lot of potential that is kind of just being left behind, right? Track, did you hit your anchors? Did you hit your targets? Did you move forward towards your fight targets? Did you actually make the progress that you hope to? By doing this, I do this every Sunday. I try to do it in the morning, but sometimes I end up doing a Sunday night, depending on the day. But I sit down, probably takes me now between 30 to 45 minutes. Before, when I was getting more into it, it would take me maybe an hour to plan my week, well, to review my week, my past week, and plan my upcoming week. And doing that allows me to see my progress, see my setbacks, see where I need to make adjustments. And so I can continue making the small adjustments week in and week out. And then with the schedule, like I was showing before, the schedule gets adjusted every single day. So I have the week planned out, but then every night I review the next day and make sure everything is still aligned. And usually it's not. So I'll change one thing or two. And then it kind of just moves on to the next day and the next day. This is so important. I can't emphasize, talk about one of the anchors in my life that's helped me accomplish the things I've accomplished and will help me accomplish even more. It's the weekly setup. It's the weekly review. It's the weekly accountability of making sure I'm actually checking in with myself, seeing where I am, aligning with my goals of who I am as a human, as a father, as a husband, as a fighter, as an entrepreneur. I need to remind myself of everything. Otherwise, it's so easy for life to distract you with Facebook, with Instagram, with Netflix, with drugs, with alcohol. It's so easy to get distracted from what you truly want. And so making sure you have at least this one day a week that you review what the fuck's going on with your life and realign with yourself, that stuff is going to be so fucking important. Don't neglect that. Now, like we were talking about the all or nothing mindset, when you go all in, which is a good mindset to have, you want to bet on yourself and everything, you have to still have the awareness of when to kind of pull the reins back a little bit. Make sure you step back. Overtraining, like in fighting, it's so ironic too that I'm talking about this because I can't tell you how many times I fucking overtrained in fight camp. Too many times. But it became less and less throughout my career. So earlier on, I overtrained more and more because I didn't know what overtraining was. Sometimes you don't know what it is until you do it. And then you do it and you're like, oh, fuck, that sucks. And then you have some type of awareness and clues to when the next overtraining is coming. And same goes with life. It's not just physical, all right? It's snapping at your kids, yelling. It's poor sleep. It's scrolling in your bed, doom scrolling at night. It's binge eating on the weekends. It's binge drinking. It's distraction. It's vices. It's porn. It's weed. It's all this stuff, all right? This is what overtraining in life looks like. Acknowledge it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't judge yourself for any of this, but just acknowledge it. Be objective. That's the key to all of it. Be stoic about it, because without this, it's so easy to kind of beat yourself up and then not even show up for yourself. Richard, does this count if you're obsessed with training? Like once I see progress, my mind gets obsessed. If that is aligned with your goals and you're training for a fight, It is it is a healthy obsession to an extent, but making sure that even with that, you can be obsessed, but you have to know one of the hardest thing as a fighter is stillness. Because showing up twice a day and training as a fighter, not that it's easy, but it's easier than relaxing and recovering and sitting with your thoughts and making sure your body is optimized and your mind is optimized for the next training session. A lot of fighters like the idea of staying busy physically, but then mentally and with their recovery, they're kind of neglecting it. So be obsessed, man. Be obsessed with your training. Be obsessed with whatever, with your work, with your family, with your life. Be fucking obsessed. Absolutely. But also be aware that you need to have the balance when you are obsessed to make sure you have the right type of recovery methods where you're able to continue showing up with that type of drive, with that type of motivation. Another key component is being your own coach. This is something that I teach at my seminars. This is what I teach for my private lessons with my clients. When you are a fighter, let's just keep with this analogy, right? Because this is kind of what it goes with. Most, for example, when I was training for my first title fight at Madison Square Garden, all right, that belt right there, all right, I trained probably 80 to 90% by myself. I was shadow boxing, I was running, I was doing strength work, I was doing the heavy bag work. That was probably 80 to 90%. The other 10% was sparring, was pad work. But I was working full time. I didn't have a coach. I was commuting an hour to and from down towards the city here in New York. And I didn't really have much time outside of work. So I had to do a lot of it on my own, and it was the biggest fight of my life. But with that, I learned how to be my own coach and to be my own training partner. I videoed myself. I created my. This is where the first version of the heavy bag blueprint came out. Is because I had to create my own version of my workouts in order to actually have intention and know that I'm progressing and not just hit the bag for the sake of hitting the bag. So when it comes down to it, you have to learn to be your own best coach. You're not going to have someone in your corner 24/7 cheering you on, telling you that you're the shit, that making sure you're doing the right things. You have to fucking learn how to do that. And you have to learn how to be your own student to that coach too. Like I've been saying, you have to be objective. You can't take things personally. You have to just take things with face value at what they are and be able to make the adjustments that are necessary. All right. Don't beat yourself up. Don't dwell. Don't just show up and be like, you know what, maybe it's not for me. No, own up and keep moving forward. Review, reset, and fucking move forward. Richard Rice got another question. What about mental toughness? My first kickboxing fight was won by doctor stoppage. A few people on my own team made me feel as if was given the fight. Since this really played a number of my mental toughness, it made me question if I was made for fighting. Well, one thing about so let me get this right. You want to fight by doctor stoppage, and your team was saying that they shouldn't have stopped the fight. It was barely a win, kind of thing. That's what they were saying. Well, that's not on you, man. I mean, let me compare it to something that's happened to me. Is in Thailand, right? You get matched up with God who knows a tuk tuk driver, a Lumpini champion. Like it doesn't. Sometimes you don't even fucking know. I got matched up with someone who I shouldn't have been in the ring with, or they shouldn't have been in the ring with me, I should say. And I whooped his ass, right? And what are you gonna do? You're just not gonna fight. You're just gonna step out of the ring and be like, you know what? Like, let this guy win, right? Or I don't want to fight. No, you don't do that. You fight whoever they put in front of you. You do whatever you have to do in the situation to follow through. So that's not on you, man. If your team can't see that you showed up and you did your best, that's all that fucking matters, man. Win or lose. As long as you are showing up as yourself, as your best self and putting in the work and trying your hardest, that's all that really matters. That's kind of what fighting and life is all about. You're gonna lose even when you show up the best you can. That shit's gonna happen because there's gonna be people better than you. That's just the nature of the beast. But when it comes to like your team and like the mental toughness, I would try to use this as a way to build your own reserve. You know how I was saying to be your own coach and to be your own training partner, more or less. This is a really good lesson for you to be able to push their thoughts and opinions aside and know that you showed up for yourself. You stepped in the fucking ring. You knocked his fucking mouth guard off how many fucking times. And the fact that they're making you feel disgraced for fighting, it's fucking bullshit, man. Take it from the Muay Thai guy. All right. So just know that you show up, you step in the ring, you fight, you deserve some fucking respect. All right. So being your own coach, though, that's one thing I will really want to make sure I emphasize, especially with you, Richard, like with your whole situation. So here's some examples of some accountability. As a busy dad, accountability example: post workouts in a group chat, wife keeps bedtime routine on lock. Or the kids keep a sticker chart, and every day dad trains, they add a new sticker. And then at the end of the week, if you have X amount of stickers, you get a prize or something. You get to go get a massage or whatever it is. This is good built-in accountability with the family. As a professional, you can bet $100 on Stick app each week on a certain task or job that you need to do. You can hire a coach or training partner that that gives you text proof of each session that you have to make sure that you're actually following through. As a fighter, weekly sparring check-in with your coach, like actually asking your coach to step aside with you, review some of your sparring, get a better insight of what he's seeing with you, and keep a public training log online. That's kind of essentially how the Muay Thai guy was born. I started just kind of documenting my training, and one thing led to another, then boom. All right. That was one of the best ways for me to hold myself accountable, knowing that other people were watching me. And so I had to keep showing up. That social accountability really helps kind of push you, even if you want to admit it or not. The ego is like, no, I'm doing this for me, right? I'm doing this for me. I don't need anyone watching me or anything. But if people are watching you, better believe the camera's on you. You better believe you're training harder. Don't fucking lie. Don't lie. If the camera's on you and people are watching you, you're going to fucking train and fight harder. I don't care who you are or what you say. All right. Now, there's always an exception to the rule, and you still want to train hard, obviously. But I'm just saying, if you fight in front of no one versus fight in front of 50,000 people, you think it's going to be different? Hell yeah, it's going to be fucking different. So who here has accountability right now? Be honest. Do you have any form of accountability? Drop a yes or no or a check mark or X or thumbs up. If you have any type of accountability, whether it's a spouse, a training partner, a coach, betting on yourself, a group chat, some type of support group, let me know if you got it. If you don't got it, George, I see you don't got it, this is a good place to start to kind of figure out where you can find that accountability. All right. Because motivation fades. Structure is what wins. Without structure, you're drifting. You don't need more hype. You need more systems. All right. Every fighter knows motivation can get you started. All right. The idea of being a champion can get you started. But structure with your training camp, with your nutrition, with your mindset training, that gets you in the ring and that gets you the wins. Motivation is fleeting. It's so hit or miss depending on the day, on what side of the bed you wake up. As a fighter, 6 a.m. runs in Thailand weren't because you were motivated, right? But because they were on the fucking schedule. Because the Thai trainer will wake you the fuck up and tell you, get your ass out there and start running, right? As an entrepreneur, you might not feel like writing emails or creating content, but the structure forces you to do that. As a dad or husband, you rarely feel like waking up at 5 a.m. with a newborn, knowing that you could just be cuddling in bed with your wife. But structure makes you wake the fuck up, do your anchor, and show up for your family the best way that you can. No run, no Muay Thai. Felipe, wife, current gym, that's good. Dave, yeah, I have met your wife. I bet she fucking holds you accountable. That's for sure. You guys are a good couple for probably the accountability purposes for sure. Red 3, the fighter's body, great structure. Appreciate that, my man. Motivation, like another analogy, is your highlight reel, right? Your KOs, your championship belts, all the things that people see, right? This is what people see under the bright lights. This is the end result. And people always assume it's this way. But structure is the daily habits. It's the things that people don't see. It's when you're training and shadow boxing by yourself at 8 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night because that's the only time that you got going. It's the early morning runs that no one knows you're waking up for to do before you go to work. It's all those extra things that no one is applauding you. No one is giving you any type of recognition. It's just you versus you. And that's all it's been about. That's what structure is. That's the daily drills. That's the type of strategy that you need in order to bypass motivation, which I said is fleeting, and actually continue to stick through with the things that are important. Here's some real life examples. Motivation for a busy dad is I'll train if I have the energy or if I have the time, right? Structure is your 5 a.m. alarm set far away from your bed. Your clothes are laid out for you and the workout is done before the kids. This is one of the tricks I was going to say about waking up early. What I do is I have my phone alarm far away from my bed. In my, we have like a little ensuite bathroom. I have it in the ensuite bathroom. So I literally have to get up, go into the bathroom to turn off my phone. And I have my clothes laid out in there. And I also have a little post-it note that's kind of, I work on weird motivation. It's like talking shit to me, right? It's like, you better stay up, bitch. I think that's what it actually says. And I read that and I looked at it as I'm turning off my phone. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to get up. And then from there, I get dressed, brush my teeth, and then boom. JosephStick.com. It's STICKK.com. It's a way to bet on yourself. And if you lose the bet, you donate to an anti-charity. Check it out. It's good stuff. Professional real life example. The motivation is I'll find time to meditate when things slow down. Guess what? Things never fucking slow down. Things don't slow down. All right. So you find time. No, you make time for the things that are your priority. The structure is a 12 p.m. calendar block for a 10-minute daily meditation. Added accountability with stick.com. If you don't make that meditation, if you don't prove that you did that meditation, one way you could do that is just like videoing yourself literally with your phone, meditating for 10 minutes and sending it to a coworker, colleague, training partner, just to kind of prove it. That's how you fucking get shit done. As a fighter, I'll train hard when I get a fight. This is what we we're just talking about, right? It's so easy to kind of ramp it up when you do have a fight. But the structure, even when you don't have a fight, is doing things like 3 defense-focused sessions a week, tracked and reviewed with training partners and my coach. Those are real-life examples of how to actually follow through with structure. Now, what's one thing you can build into your structure this week that doesn't rely on motivation? Let me say that again. What is one thing that you can build into your structure this week that doesn't rely on motivation? Try that cell phone trick that I was just talking to you about. Put it far away from your bed. Put that alarm on blast. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care if you have a wife or husband that you're gonna wake up. The thing is, it stresses me out knowing that my alarm's going off and I'm not going there to turn it off. Otherwise, my wife's going to wake up and whoop my fucking ass, right? So I make sure I get up, turn that alarm off, and then get the fucking work, you know? Richard Rice, taking the 3.5-mile walk from my bus stop to get my check tomorrow. Boom. That's some good accountability right there, right? To get that walk in. Now, let me keep it real, though. Awareness is not enough. Like everything that we're just going over, this is not enough, right? This is all just me talking to you, giving you examples of what to do, showing you what is possible and what you can do. Free info like this, like you see on YouTube, like you see on all social media and everything. There's a lot of great free shit out there. A lot of it's mine. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of it will be fleeting, just like motivation. All right. Without the structure, it just becomes more stuff that you consume to feel like you're productive, to feel like you're actually moving forward. Knowledge without action means no transformation. Knowledge without action, like what's the point of knowledge? You know, just to hold it all in for yourself and not actually apply it? No. Coaching, when you're actually paying for something, showing up to the gym to train, paying for a membership, paying for a personal trainer, paying for accountability, paying for anything. That makes you talk about betting on yourself. You're literally fucking betting on yourself to show up more, to put in the work, to actually follow through with your goals. Because now you got the accountability. You're paying a coach to tell you to show the fuck up. And if they're a good coach, they're telling you what you're fucking up, what you're doing wrong, and what you're doing better, and what you could actually do well, right? You're not just consuming info anymore. You're applying it, you're tracking the progress, and you're being held to it. It's a whole new ball game, right? A coach gives you feedback, adjusts your plans, and resets you when you start to drift. They keep you in check. They keep you in line. I can't tell you how many coaches I've hired in a variety of different aspects of my life. And it doesn't even need to be necessarily a coach. It could be a trainer, right? It could be a coach. It could be a doctor. It could be a therapist. It could be so many different things. But paying someone to actually hold you accountable to certain things, that is going to just kind of emphasize the idea that you are literally putting money down on yourself to show up to be a better version of yourself. Transformation comes from doing the reps week after week, day after day with guidance and accountability. So this is the full fight camp experience in life. Weekly planning, clear goals across life, work, training, anchors are set, anchors are tracked, and accountability is up there to stay fucking sharp. This is what the champion of life is. It's the fight camp for your life. It's structure, accountability, and consistency. And right now, I just decided to come back to my champion of life. I've been running this program. I started running this mentorship a little over 5 years ago. And then I retired from fighting. I've had 2 kids. So I've decided to take a step away from it and focus more on just making sure that I'm living by my standards before I start trying to teach it, right? And so I made sure that I ironed out all my systems, all my strategies before I decided to bring it to the public. That's probably why you haven't seen much of me recently, because I've been working in the background. Talk about doing the things that people don't see until they see the final version, until they see you with a championship belt. I've been doing a lot of stuff in the background to make sure that I'm creating this type of program that's going to actually change people's lives. Right now, the doors are open, and I made it application only because, simply put, I only work with people who are fucking serious and who are actually capable of stepping up and doing it. All applications I review, whether you are accepted or not. I make sure to check it out. I'll give you some type of response and make sure that you are seen. Because although if you're accepted, great. It will be amazing for you to sign up and to be a part of this mentorship that is going to give you the structure, the stability, the accountability that you need to accomplish the goals in your life, and also define what those goals are, define what your vision is, which is also very overlooked when it comes down to it. But if you are denied your application, it's only temporary. Just always know that there's room for improvement. Again, don't take it personally. It's not a personal thing. It's something that you should take objectively and try to understand. Why wasn't I accepted? What was stopping me from making that next move? Right? This is something that I'm super proud of. This is something that I'm really excited to be sharing with you guys. So if you don't decide right now, just know that I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I do want to be true. I want to tell you, like, I'm blunt. I'm from New York. I'm going to shoot it straight to you. If you don't actually decide on a day-to-day basis to fucking show up, to do something that's actually going to change your life, then you're going to keep drifting. You're going to keep blurring the days and weeks together with no real progress. You'll feel busy, but you're not actually fucking moving forward. You'll have all the excuses. You'll be rationalizing with yourself that I'll start next week. I'm too tired. Tomorrow will be the number one word in your vocabulary. I will do it tomorrow, right? Or I'll start on Monday. You'll burn out, right? Going all in, right? Having that obsession, which is great, but then it's so easy to crash if you don't have that corner man helping you along the way, guiding you and seeing the bird's eye view of what's going on. Training, work, and family all suffer because you have no fucking system. Regret, and this is the biggest one, right? Each day you decide not to step into your full self, not to take yourself more seriously. Each is a day that you'll be looking back and realize that you've been wasting your fucking time, right? Time is the most valuable resource we have. Fuck money, fuck relationships, fuck anything. Time and health are the two most important things in life. I would gladly trade all my money for all the time and freedom that I could have. Gladly. Because when it comes down to it, you're not going to go to the grave with your money, right? You're not going to go to the grave with anything. But going to the grave is in direct correlation of how much time that you actually have. So don't waste the most precious gift that you have, and that's fucking time. So apply now if this is resonating with you, if you felt like this is something that could actually help move you forward in whatever aspect of your life it is, whether it's fighting, whether it's business, whether it's personal, family, relationships, you name it. This is structured for high performers. This is something that I've created for people who either consider themselves high performers or want to become someone who is like that, a fucking champion of life. Being a champion in a ring is cool, right? I've fortunately been able to do that. But being a champion of life, that's the real goal, right? Being a champion husband is the goal. Being a champion businessman is the goal. Being a champion son is the goal. Being a fucking champion father, that is so much more important and valuable to me than any of this bullshit right here. Yeah, these belts look cool and everything. They have good stories behind them and everything, but really, they don't mean shit. They really don't mean shit. What means shit is the things that you see in my life, my relationships that I've been able to build, my health that I've been able to take care of, my family that I've been able to grow, my business that I've been able to grow, the time I've been able to create. That is what being a champion of life is all about. And so if this is for you, go to knockmorenation.com/apply. And if you have any questions about anything, you can ask away. I'll hang out for another couple minutes. You can ask me questions about the program. You can ask me questions about the presentation. You can ask me questions about my training, your training, life. It doesn't even matter. Nigel, parenthood is definitely the most important job. 100% agreed. And it's also the most challenging, right? I thought fighting was hard, but fuck, being a parent is a lot harder. All right. So if you guys don't have any questions, I appreciate everyone being here. I just want to give a quick shout out to George, Nate, Marzouk. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, my man. Joseph, Jordan, Dave, Molly, Felipe, Richard, everyone else who joined inside of Knockboy Nation specifically. I appreciate you guys. Red 3, Nigel, Agent Mar. I see a couple other people on Facebook and YouTube. Appreciate you all jumping on in here. I'm going to be doing more lives with you all. Inside Knockboy Nation, I'll have more kind of casual, chill and chat live calls where we'll be able to talk just as a group. And I'll be able to kind of have like hot seat coaching with each and every one of you, going over your training, going over any problems you have. So just keep an eye on this space. The more I see you guys engage inside the community, I'm trying to get re-engaged. Like I said, I've been kind of like taking a little bit of what is it called? Paternity leave, more or less, for the past like 3 months. I've been staying consistent, doing work in the background, but now I'm ready to show back up, be here with you guys, and help you guys get the best results possible. So hopefully I'll see more of you. Keep an eye out on the meetups inside this channel as well, because I have I think I have 5 scheduled calls coming up. One will be a live workout. Some others will be strategy. Some others will just be shooting the shit and talking. So I'll hopefully see you guys there. If not, keep fucking training hard. Keep doing your thing. And I appreciate your time spending it with me on this Thursday night, at least here in the US. And anyone here in Australia at like 3 o'clock in the morning, props to you. All right. But enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all. And I hope to see you inside the Champion of Life mentorship. Catch you soon.